on YouTube. Hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm going to be doing a reading for all y'all empathic people. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and I was told things are pushing forward and it's scary ASF. So there's things happening probably in your life, things going on with people you're connected to. I mean, just lots of things, lots of things. And whatever these things are, they are things that maybe you're scared of. Maybe you're scared of acknowledging the changes, acknowledging what's going on. Nervous laughter. It's nervous laughter. That's all. Don't worry. I'm always nervous. Don't worry. I'll pull some cards from there. Right, Monica? I'm just saying. You know, the nervous laughter. Oopsie. Oh, okay. That will stay on the table. I didn't see what it was. Ooh. I threw it. Okay. Everything that fell, we'll use those cards. Now I'm having hot flashes. I'm like, all of these things are happening. Okay. All right. So as I'm getting these cards ready, I'll share a little secret. I was considering cutting my hair rather short, because it would be easier for me to style it. Lo and behold, all I had to do was brush it. All I had to do was brush my hair and tuck it behind my ears before it dries. And then this is what happens. I know Frey doesn't want me to cut my hair. I like, yo, people, what is up with a fixation with long hair? What is up with that? I don't know. I'm not attached to hair. For like a large portion of my life, all the way through a portion of my adulthood, I had hair down to my knees, the back of my knees. And this is like nothing compared to the thickness I had. This is nothing compared to the thickness that I had. It's your roots. So much life is in your hair, if you ask me. I remember I told you guys I created this hair growing serum for myself. I concocted a little serum type deal, and I've been putting it in my hair daily, and it's grown quite a bit of my hair back. Like, you can barely see my scalp, unlike before, which it was nothing but scalp at that point. So it's working. It's working. So I just take some essential oils. I've tried it. I put these essential oils in pumpkin oil. That was the first one that I tried. My hair loved that, but I can't find pumpkin oil in the stores. And then I used rosemary infused olive oil. These are all cooking oils. And my hair kind of like that. And then I couldn't find the rosemary oil, and I was at Costco the other day and I found garlic infused olive oil. And so of course I'm going to Google that. And I was like, is garlic good for me? Is going to make my hair fall out more. And it says that garlic helps to plump up the hair strands. And there was studies that were used or that were done using garlic to help treat alopecia, which I have alopecia. Alopecia, alopecia. I have alopecia. Yeah, I used to be a fuzzy little mofo, like hair everywhere. I used to have hair on my cheeks, across my forehead, hair on my fingers and knuckles. Now I'm hairless. I love it. It's just my head hair. A lot of it fell out, and my eyebrows. A lot of it fell out. But I mean, everywhere else, it's amazing. I don't shave at all anymore because I'm hairless. Thank you, alopecia. Okay, that's TMI. Let's get started. Now that I got TMI out of the way, now that I've finished oversharing, thanks a lot, Universal D. Oh, so the essential oils would be I can't remember. I think I use rosemary, peppermint, lemongrass, lavender, cedarwood. I don't remember. Something like that. Something like that. Clove. Oh no, I smell like an Italian kitchen when I go to bed. Much to my family's dismay. Like I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm delicious. Okay, guys, stop. Tell me to stop. Tell me to stop. When I start on a roll like that, you have to be like, Emmie, hello, get back on track. And y'all you put these laughy faces and it encourages me to overshare some more. Smiley faces are like my green light. They are my green light and I see every single one of them. Okay, stop. For real, stop. Anyways. Okay. Ancestors remembrance. I don't know if I could do this reading today. Okay, no, I can do it. Let me see. Do I have sessions in a few? I think I do. Hold on. What is my schedule today? All right. Okay. Let me just rinse these emotions out my throat. Okay, it's gonna be okay. Yum. Okay. So, ancestors remembrance. There are things that are being communicated today that need to be communicated. These things are things that they affect the trajectory of your life. They do. And it's kind of this sense that your ancestors are going out of their way to ensure that whatever it is that you need to experience, whatever connections, whatever all of that, that it will take place. Like doorways are being opened for you. Doorways are being opened for you. It's up to you if you want to take advantage of those doorways that are being opened. But, some ancestors don't know how to just stay in their lane. They're totally, working overtime to try and encourage this moving forward within whatever lessons you're in, whatever lessons you're learning. Your ancestors are helping you to make progress, to progress through it all. Okay. Hi, Deborah Boss Heart. Okay, so death. For me, this card is basically saying that certain things have to end. I don't believe this has to do with like people's lives ending. I don't think it's that. I feel like this has to do with certain cycles needing to be put to rest. Like there's just certain things that maybe you've been struggling to, I don't know. Maybe you've been totally struggling to understand where your life is headed, where you're being asked to go, what you're being asked to do by your soul, all of these different factors that have been so hard to comprehend, to process, to accept, the ending of one cycle in order for the arrival of the next cycle to, to be easier. Hey, Sarah. Sorry, guys. Hey, mama. You've been on my mind, Sarah, past I don't know, past like 2-3 weeks. You've been on my mind. I hope everything's okay with you and the babies. The babies. Okay, hex banishment. This has to do with having been hexed and banished. um I assume that at one point someone was banished, right? Or you banished yourself. And it's almost like this thing of maybe that's the logic, the mindset, that fallacy of a need for banishment that needs to be laid to rest. How can you begin a new cycle if you refuse to let go of the old one? How can you begin a new cycle of growth, of learning, of expansion, of exploration of self and soul and the connectivity between the two? When you keep holding on to the very anchors that serve as anchors. Some people are anchors. For some of us, that's a good thing, right? They anchor us into our existence. They serve as the very thing that kind of keeps us aware of what we need to do, keeps us functioning, all of these different things. But other people, that anchor is almost like a shipwreck. It's someone who wrecks your ship in order to keep you in place. And I don't think that should be tolerated anymore. Like, okay, for example, my husband is my anchor. He keeps me anchored into um this space of continuing my exploration of self, my self-love, self-worth, all of these different things. Like he moves with me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I get this visual of like the weight that you would put at the bottom of a balloon just so the balloon doesn't fly away, but it doesn't keep the balloon from rising, right? And you can very easily pick up that weight and put it on a different table. It just facilitates the visualizations of balloons or being able to appreciate that balloon. That's not the type of anchor I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the types of anchors that really prevent any type of movement, any type of function, like just and not a very good thing. Not a very good thing. Those need to go. And I think that's what the ancestors are basically communicating. Like those need to go. They absolutely need to go. And if you don't want it to go, you're not going to be able, you're not going to be able to like truly fulfill your purpose. Because what good is a boat that takes water in? See, and then that saying comes to mind where it's like, um, ships don't sink because of water. They only basically sink when someone lets the water in. And you have to make sure there's no one in your crew that is drilling holes in the bottom of your boat. It almost feels like someone is intentionally trying to drain you, intentionally draining you to prevent you from walking forward. Oh my God. Are you serious right now? Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry that I'm having like 3 conversations right now while I'm speaking to you guys. Okay. Can everyone just shh? Just shush. Y'all make me look crazy when I start talking to things that aren't here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Sarah says, I've been drawn to you too lately, probably for this. Who knows? You know how your self nags and nags until you pay attention. All right. So I promise I'll behave myself today. It's this realization that maybe a lot of the things that have been hiccups, quote unquote hiccups for you, all of these setbacks and whatnot, are really someone bent on delaying, if not full on preventing your progression. It's this sense of like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced someone like this. I have several times. Um, it's the sense of someone who would threaten to harm themselves. An empty, baseless threat in order to keep you in their presence. It's the most wicked form of manipulation. It's the most wicked form. Seriously, it's like ridiculously wicked, especially when it's being presented to someone who is so sensitive and so caring. This threat of harming yourself. For those who don't know how to address that, again, this has been done to me several times. I'm a highly sensitive empath. I don't like people hurting or suffering. And when people see that, sometimes they take advantage of that. Um, so I know that I wouldn't be okay with myself if someone was hurt. Um, like if I didn't get you the help that you needed and you actually did harm yourself, that wouldn't sit right with me and my soul. And I'm sure that that applies to so many of you. So I'm going to give you a potential solution for a situation like that. The most recent time that someone did this to me, um, that was not too long ago. It was a few years back. It was someone that I didn't really know. Okay, I didn't really know them, and this is someone I met them online through Facebook. Just random interactions, and I guess they became very dependent on my presence, my online presence, which is weird. This is before I was live streaming, I think. I think it was before I was live streaming. And I guess they had labeled me as like, I don't know, as a best friend or something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know what they labeled me. I just knew that they were being kind of weird. And I overlook people's weirdness because I myself am weird as well. So it's like, whatever, I'm not going to hold that against you. And things began to progress to the degree where one day I posted something on social media and they began to comment just really inappropriate things. Like really inappropriate things. I don't remember what they comment anymore, but I want to say there were like undertones of like sexual something. And I'm married. I'm good off that. You know what I mean? Like, no, I find that to be very disrespectful to my husband and myself. With my husband being an extension of me, if you disrespect him, even if it's inadvertent disrespect, that's a fucking disrespect to me. I'm good off that. I'm very particular about the people I keep in my space. And so I was kind of like, "Hey, that's a little bit inappropriate." I don't know what you're trying to say, but it's kind of inappropriate. At which point they commented again something even more inappropriate, and I was like, "Yeah, you gotta go." And I blocked them. I'm just like, I don't need that kind of whatever in my life. And then they went ahead and they were talking to someone who's like a mutual friend between us. And he starts talking about self-harming. I'm just like, and she like immediately freaks out and she reaches out to me and lets me know. I'm like, "Oh my God, are you serious right now?" And she was serious. To which I asked her for his actual phone number because I had blocked him. So I couldn't reach him on Facebook. And then I called him and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?" And he informs me that if something along the lines of if I don't want to be his friend, then he really has nothing left and blah 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 blah. I'm just like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? Like, that's not good. That's definitely not good. And I got the sense that they were possibly serious. And I heard them like, I don't know what they were doing, but I heard them holding something and it did not sound right. And I was like, what are you doing? What do you have? What are you doing? And they apparently had a firearm, at which point I told them flat out, like, hey, I wouldn't be okay if you got hurt, but I'm not licensed to assist with this type of serious crisis. That's a serious crisis. Unless you're a licensed medical professional, mental health professional, um, that's really not your job to be helping people through a crisis like that. We can't ignore, we can't dismiss it because if something does happen to them, you're going to carry that with you. So what do you do? I told them flat out, hold on, I'm calling law enforcement. I'm calling someone to make sure that you're okay. And I stayed on the phone with him until law enforcement arrived. I heard them knock and I was like, before you open the door, please leave your shotgun on the kitchen counter. And as soon as you open the door, can you just let them know that it's there? And I listened to him tell them that, at which point I heard a lot of yelling. And then he couldn't talk anymore because they pinned him to the floor. And I didn't check up on him again. Because if my presence is going to cause you to consider things that are just no, I should not be around you. You should not have access to me. No. If me and my existence brings out the toxicity in you, whether that's me doing it intentionally, unintentionally, whatever, you need to not be around me ever again. You just don't need to be around me ever again, you know? And this is not me being pissed off. I was actually concerned. Like, you're very unstable, like that's not okay. That is not okay. Like I could tell something was already like ramping up with the comments that he was leaving. And that's why I backed away. Like, I'm good. I don't know what's going on. I don't really know you that well. I only knew them like a few weeks, maybe like a few months. I think it was a few months. Yeah, I think like 2 or 3 months, and I'm just like, I cannot be triggering you in that way where you're considering, like, literally inappropriate things, and that's how you deal with it. You don't ignore it, you get them the help that they need, and if they were bluffing, what that teaches them is this is not how you communicate your needs to me. That every time you communicate in this way, there will only be one result: you on a psychiatric hold. And that's it. That's it. That's the only thing I can offer you to make sure that you don't harm yourself. I'm going to call the people who can help you, who have the training to help you, because I don't have that training. There's a lot of things that I don't have training for, but the things that I do that I don't have training for don't pose an actual risk to your mortality. Okay? So when there is an actual risk to someone's life, you need to involve the people who are trained to assist in that way. It's important that you not allow yourself to be manipulated, but also just as important that you not turn your back. And if something happens, you're going to forever blame yourself. That's how empaths are. We take ownership of the pain of other people and make it our own. And that's not a pain that I want you to carry. It's just not. It's not. Okay? So you are going to have to know where they are, their physical location in that moment. If you're going to call in for an involuntary psychiatric hold, which is in the United States, I believe all 50 states, it's considered a 5150. I know at least in California it is, you know. You the basis of calling in, you would be calling 911, is if someone you know, you believe they are at risk of harming themselves or harming someone else. If they are a danger to themselves or a danger to someone else, that is cause for a 5150 call. And if they're just pissed off when they go in for their psychiatric evaluation, which they will be evaluated, depending on how that evaluation goes, they can be held longer, up to, I think, 7 days before they're actually admitted as a psychiatric patient. Or, you know, they can be released if the doctor deems that no, they're just pissed off. I don't believe they're actually at risk. I don't believe they're going to harm someone else. The doctor will determine that. Okay. The person who's had the years and years of extensive training to be able to diagnose, treat, be able to recognize psychosis, sociopathic behaviors, the real true risk is not for us to determine. But it's also not for you to be held captive to that type of manipulation. Okay. Like, I'm good. I'm so good. I'm so good off of that. I don't, when I say I'm so good off of that, I'm so good off of trying to figure out whether you mean it or not, um, whether this is going to turn out badly or not. Like, I'm good off of that. Let me involve people who actually have the capacity to know, to keep you safe. Okay? Like, I'm not saying do this to be vindictive. No. Anytime someone threatens to harm someone else or themselves, that has to be taken seriously. Why do you think no one ever jokes around with me like that? I remember when my son was, I think, like 13 or something like that. He had these friends, and they were, I guess, in a group chat. And one of them told another one, like, because he didn't, whoever the other one was, didn't get their way with their parents. And so one of the other kids in the group chat was saying that they should threaten to harm themselves to their parents, so their parents would be forced, I think, to like let them go somewhere or something like that. I don't remember. And my son was telling me, and he's like, yeah, I told him my mom don't play that shit. Because I don't. I don't. I told my son straight up, like, he's never threatened to harm himself, but I told him straight up, if you ever say those type of things, I will love you to the degree that I find the bravery to put you in the hospital for however long is necessary to make sure you are safe. Don't ever threaten that in an empty way. But if you ever feel that, tell me so I can get you whatever help you need. And so he knows, he straight up told his friends, my mom don't play that shit. Because I don't. Now, if that's something you're really worried about, tell me. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not going to be pissed at you. I'm going to go and seek the help that we need as a family, because we need to know how to properly support you. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be able to love someone to the healthiest degree, you have to be able to find the courage to seek out the information and assistance to properly support, to properly help. And sometimes that requires your absence. Sometimes that's what it requires. And we just have to be aware of what it is we're facing. But anytime that threat comes out, whether it's empty, whether it's a real threat, you don't know. So you have to take the appropriate measures to ensure that they are safe and supported in the proper way with the proper people. Okay. Like, I'm so glad that I have this logic, because I really think that person was going to harm themselves that day. Like, I could hear it in their voice. I could absolutely hear it in their voice. And I distinctly remember I had to have a very selfish moment on that phone conversation and be like, listen, do you understand how much you would hurt me if you hurt yourself? So if you truly, truly feel like I am one of the bestest friends you've ever had, then you're going to make sure that you protect my feelings by telling me exactly where you're at. I want the address and the county. because I'm going to call people to come and help you, make sure you're okay. It wasn't like trick them into telling me where they are and then surprise them with this. No, I very clearly communicated, I am very worried. You don't sound the same. Like, this is beyond what I could comprehend. And being honest in that way, there's nothing, it's not like a Britney Spears moment where they tricked her. That was a calculated thing. They tricked her. They tricked her to do an involuntary psychiatric hold so that they could do all their other legal stuff that was contingent on that psychiatric hold. Okay. I'm not talking about tricking people, even when they're being crazy with you, even when they're just being manipulative. Always hold yourself to the highest degree of integrity and transparency. It's important. It's important that you don't become a reflection of someone else's possible psychosis, possible, mental health breakdown. I mean, we don't know what's going on, but you have to make sure you protect yourself by doing what's appropriate and what's necessary. Okay. So someone's intention is upside down. This is going back to whoever that manipulative person is. I assume the manipulative person is a relationship that's ending or ended, or I don't know. It feels like just some bunny boiler type stuff. You don't know what I mean by bunny boiler? Go watch Fatal Attraction. She boiled the bunny. She boiled the guy's daughter's pet bunny. This is bunny boiler stuff. Bunny boiler. Like, don't involve yourself in that. Your level of involvement needs to be minimized. There are people who exist who have the type of psychology where if they increase the drama to like a level 5 and that causes you to cave to their demands, they'll try it again the next time. And if they can't get you at a level 5, they'll take it to a level 6. They'll take it higher and higher and higher until you cave. And all you are doing is validating that technique. You are teaching them to continue to behave this way with you. That's all you're doing. You're not protecting them. You're not helping them. You're not loving them. You are enabling mental dis-ease. That's actual pathology right there. That is a diseased state. That is a diseased frame of mind. And if you really truly want to love someone, you have to get them the help that they need. There is a massive stigma with mental health assistance. We need to let that stigma go. I don't necessarily believe in broad spectrum type medicating of people based on their emotional state. I don't believe in that. I believe that if you need a little bit of assistance medicinally, then yes, consider it. But if you think that taking psychiatric medications is going to be a long term solution, it's probably not. I'm not a doctor, these are just my opinions. I find that if you are unable to seek out the root causation of the issue because of the cognitive distortions, that cognitive dissonance that occurs and creates the distortions, then maybe you would benefit from a short course of psychotropic meds. Maybe, that will quiet down the emotions just enough to be able to first stabilize you and then allow you the opportunity to begin delving into that whole big ass lake of what the hell's going on with me. Okay. When you get off that medication, those problems are still going to be there. Those issues that created the problems, they're still going to be there. You deserve peace. You deserve to experience at least a period of your life where you feel at peace. And this is about returning back to your peace. Your life is going to continue to progress with or without your permission. It will continue to progress. And the less permission you give yourself to go forward in life, the more painful that movement becomes. It's going to feel like you are being torn apart, holding on to an anchor that will not budge while being swept away by the winds of change. That's like being in an air tunnel. That's crazy. That's crazy. To feel your ligaments tearing as your joints give way, and still you refuse to let go. Maybe it ties into some manipulation of um, being convinced by an individual that you need to be present to support them as they mentally heal. You can't heal in the same environments that you got sick in. You can't. You can't. That's just, I don't, you can't. I don't believe that's possible. Maybe there's people who can prove that it's possible. And for those people who can stay in environments and quote unquote heal while being in that same toxicity, are you healing or are you just damn good at compartmentalization? I mean, hippie-ki-yay, that's some depth of compartmentalization, because I was good at compartmentalization. That's why I was able to stay in the same toxic environments that made me sick to begin with. That's how I was able to do it. That's why I understand to that degree. You can't. You can compartmentalize, because I tell you, I can compartmentalize like a mofo. Seriously. I can stay functional through all sorts of travesties. Doesn't mean I'm okay. Just because you're functional doesn't mean you're living. Let that sink in. And I think a lot of this is our soul is basically asking us, begging us, encouraging us, dragging us out of this place of simply living in a functional state. Have you guys noticed a difference in me in the past few months? Just a couple months, handful of months. I'd say maybe like 6 months or so. Have you noticed a difference in me? The difference in me in the past 6 months versus the past 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. I'm not good with time. You know what the difference is? I went from being functional to actually living. People didn't understand how I could continue to live stream despite the fact that I didn't give myself time to grieve the death of my mother, because I didn't. I didn't give myself that time at all. I kept working full load. I work maybe, I don't know, about 60 hours a week, every week for the past how many years. Um, mhm. See, when you keep yourself so busy, that's a form of avoidance. If I'm too busy working and too busy being a mom and a wife, I don't have time to deal with those emotions. So you stuff it away and you stuff it away and you stuff it away. And then you wonder why you have blockages. I know I did. I wondered. And it became this thing of really allowing myself to recognize where I am within my life, within my journey. That, you know, yeah, you guys have seen me cry, but have I really grieved? Have I really allowed myself to process the emotions? No, not at all. Like, not at all. And so many empaths do this because we tell ourselves so many people need us. This person needs this, that person needs that, that person needs that, that person needs that. I just don't have time because so many people count on me. That's bullshit. You absolutely have time, but you make sure you use that time in ways that don't involve you and your healing. And this is a huge call for you to stop, to reassess, to bring yourself back to the space where your focus is your healing. Because if people are really truly counting on you, You have to truly show up as you, not as a shadow of yourself. Lily smiles a lot, says, how do you describe that when your soul wants you to break free, but your brain or body does something different? Is it the brain or body or something different? It's all. The brain is what processes and houses the psychology. The body is what expresses the effects of that psychology. What you're talking about is cognitive dissonance, the triggering of your refusal to accept a truth that's too difficult to accept because of the fact that it contradicts your reality as you know it to be. This ties very, very heavily into the work of Dr. Dabrowski, positive disintegration. So here's the thing. The brain is where the consciousness sits, and it transmits all of these messages through your entire body. That's what it does. The brain is a biological machine that's capable of overriding and recodement of standing scalar waves, which is the basis of the fabric of creation. When you can modulate the fission fusion, that exothermic, endothermic, that flash line sequencing, you can then alter the course of your reality. But when you realize you've been running the wrong code, that's a major, major issue. Some people have the maturity to be able to take that knowledge and implement corrections. Other people don't have that ability, and they will hear things that trigger them and cause them to become combative towards the messenger. That's why I know I rub quite a few people wrong. It's not intentional, but honestly, I don't give a fuck. I can only be me. I'm done playing a role. So I can only be me. And I know a lot of people get rubbed wrong by my messages because they want me to stroke their sensitivities. And I'm over here ripping off bandages like, no, you got to air that shit out. You want it to heal. Do you want to keep that wound fresh or you want it to heal? You got to let it dry out, baby boo. You got to let a scab form. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's about the wounds that have existed before you ever came across my path. And the fact that you've been able to bury it. And I'm over here with my golden shovel, digging into your field, letting you know, like, hey, there's some stuff buried here. There's just some stuff buried here. I don't know what it is. I'll let you deal with it. Okay, I gotta go. And some people don't like that. I don't care. What I'm concerned with is your growth. And if it takes you 2, 3 years to come to terms with something you heard me say in 5 minutes of watching me, take your time. It's your life. It's your journey. Take your time. But you sure as hell are not going to tell me how to be, who to be, what to say, when to say. I do as my soul instructs me. So if it's going to require your absence from my space for several years to come to terms with that 5 minutes of truth bombs that were deployed and hit their mark, I respect that. Genuinely. Honestly, I respect that. Go through your process, whatever that process is. Just don't tell me who to be, how to be, what to say, and when to say it, because then we're going to have a fucking problem. If I can be okay with you being in your process, then you have to respect me and mine. So Lily says, do we listen to soul, brain, or body? The soul can be way too brave. I say you listen to your point of kokoro. That's that beautiful center point that serves as the axis, the hub of intelligence between the mind, the body, and the soul. That's a center point. Why do you think my system is called Kokoro? Kokoro 33. That hub, that center point of ascended masters. Mm, love it. All right, fertility. So this is a period of creation. There's creation that's occurring, okay? There is a lot of things being created, and triggers. I am triggered. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in the process of attempting to temper a rage that is rising. Comanche, I invite you to go ahead and write to me. Hold on really quick. Let me get you the link, okay? If you guys have questions about your specific circumstance, I invite you to write to me. There's a specific link. It's a private link. You can write to me and tell me your circumstance. And what happens is, who knows, I might answer your question during a live stream and have a live stream just focused on you. This is a series that I'm starting. It is the Dear Emmie series. There's a link right there. It's soulworksynergistics.com/Dear Emmie, DEAR dash Emmie. And let me put it right there as well. Oops. It says Dear Emmie Nicolina. That's not what I wrote. And you guys can definitely, write in, write whatever's going on, and I'm going to begin answering questions in that way. We're just trying to structure it and give people the opportunity to have the time to message. It's just a form. You can message me and request that your name, your identity be withheld. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, you didn't upset me, Comanche Native. Okay, you didn't upset me. What upset me is that this is being done to you. And that's what upset me. That's why I'm like, let me temper myself, because I don't like that violation of sovereign free will. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. That makes me enter so quickly and so fluidly into a state of full on war. Like, I'll never disrespect other people's sovereignty, their sovereign right to choose, their sovereign sacred space. You don't fucking do that to people. That's the kind of shit that would make me go into full mama bear mode and start turning off people's abilities. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, we got to respect people's sovereignty. We have to respect people's sovereignty. I almost feel like I should take a moment to go ahead and do a little bit of energetic work here in this space to undo any type of spells and whatnot that have been done to any of you. I don't know. That's just a byproduct of my triggeredness. And no, I know I have at times classified myself tentatively as a bruja, which I guess, whatever. But the reality of it, the more accurate term would be sorceress. I was born like this, baby boo. I wasn't taught. I was born like this, custom created to take on all sorts of bullshit behaviors and negate it. Restore balance. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like the disrespecting of people's sovereignty. I don't like that at all. Mm-mm. No. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. But Comanche, I do ask you to utilize that link. Um, write in. Write in, and I'll answer your question in a live stream at some point. Okay? We'll create a live stream just for that. But yeah, so I'm launching a Dear Emmie series. These are an ongoing series of live streams. I haven't scheduled it yet. I haven't figured out where I can fit in my schedule, where I'll be asking all of you to go ahead and write me letters. Write to me and let me know what you need some clarity on with your life. It doesn't have to be a general thing. It could be specific to your situation. And the beauty with this is that despite the fact that you feel, think, and exist as though this situation is very unique to you, I promise you there are thousands, if not millions, of people who are struggling through the same exact thing at the same exact time. And this is a beautiful way to really illustrate to everyone how not alone we are in our suffering and struggle. We just are taught, we are programmed to believe that no one would understand, that we should not air things out. And, all that does is protect the person that's harming you. You don't necessarily have to reveal their identity publicly, I mean, privacy laws and things. You don't have to. But to be able to speak your truth and release what was done to you instead of holding it in as though it's your dirty secret. It's filthy. Don't get me wrong. That's filthy, but it's not yours. Stop owning other people's shame. That type of behavior absolutely is worthy of shame. But it's not for you to own that. That is not yours. Okay? It's not in your imagination. Whatever it is that's happening, whatever it is that you're perceiving is going on, you're not imagining it. It's actually really, truly something going on. The foundation in reverse. Your entire life, your household, all of that, your homeland kind of got turned upside down. No, Marlene, kind of got turned upside down. And with that turning upside down of you and your life and, all of these different things, you have to go through the process of turning yourself right side up. It's a hard process. It's a hard process, but it's a process that takes you directly into your awakening, your realization. This is a process with which you can and will begin to realize what life is trying to communicate with you. Your life is actively trying to talk to you. Your soul speaks to you through your life circumstance. Gratitude and appreciation. It's time for you to rest and appreciate, not just see, but also embrace and appreciate the magic that is you. Okay? Have gratitude and appreciation for your inner child. Let love be your beacon. Bacon. I love bacon. I love bacon so much. I'm sorry. But I do. Hickory smoked applewood smoked bacon extra thick. Sorry. I love bacon. Whatever. I can't eat it that much though. Card number 42, let love be your bacon. Beacon, not bacon. Beacon. Oh, so this is an indication that you are actively pinging. Ping, ping, ping. It's like you're pinging someone. You're playing ping pong. Ping pong player. Yeah. What time is it? It's ping pong time. Have you guys seen that movie? Ping pong player. Okay. This is me coping. This is going to be a difficult reading. This is me, like, seriously coping. Someone is pinging you. They're pinging. Beacons have been turned on and it's ping, ping, ping into the forehead. Ping, ping, ping. How many of you have been feeling weird in the forehead lately? How many of you? Pray tell. Pray tell. You're being pinged. You're being pinged. I don't know if you're being pinged by your higher self, like messages are coming in, or if you're being pinged by someone outside of you. Send that to voicemail. I'm joking. You're being pinged. Okay. There's this song that's playing in my head nonstop right now. Okay. I've waited 100 years. I'll wait a million more for you. Nothing prepared me for illumination. You're being pinged and it's causing your lights to flash. It's causing your lights to flash. Let me not. Let me not. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I was gonna be naughty and say some things, and like I'll behave. I'll behave. Illumination. So it's almost like the things that this is someone who's existed in the darkness. That's you riding on a moth back to the moon, back to the space where things are hidden away, back into the feminine folds. You know what I mean? Mm. Was it your song? I'm sorry, Diana. Okay, adventure. You're just one big adventure. Oh my God. Okay, so for some of you, this ties into a lifetime in Lemuria at Atlantis. Fuck Atlantis. Sorry. Sorry, I'm recovering more past life memories. I don't like Atlantis. I'm just saying. I'm so triggered right now. For the Devics and the dragons. Just saying. Okay, so this is past life stuff. This is karmic bleed over. Past life bleed over in the house. This is past life stuff. This is past life stuff. Past life bleed over is occurring, and it's all kind of just commingulating. Commingulating. It's a potential gateway. It's a potential gateway. Be careful of what you're doing, okay? Do not use this reading to justify someone's presence in your life just because today is a portal date. Yeah, it's a portal date. Okay. 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 All right. This is too much for me. This is too much for me. I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my Emmie cry. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? You know, I don't know. We're having a breakthrough. Ooh, you're about to have a breakthrough. Card number 8. You're about to have a breakthrough. There you go. You have to have a breakthrough. Yay, you're awakening. Card number 4. 4 being the number of self. Pause. Just pause. Pause and breathe. Take a deep breath in, slow exhale out. Inhale the light of your truth, exhale the darkness of your bullshit. You know, just breathe. Breathe. Show your support. Support yourself. Allow yourself to go through whatever process you need to go through. Own that process, own the learning. You know what I'm saying? Just breathe. I don't want to hear you, Michael. The two of you have been harassing me like a mofo. And I really don't want to hear either of you at this point. And he's like, do you mean that? Did I stutter? Did I stutter? Did it sound like I was joking? Did I giggle afterwards? No, I didn't, did I? No. And he's like, why are you looking at all the cards? Because I want to know what kind of bullshit you're getting me into in this early morning. I want to know the bullshit before I step into it. Okay? It's like, are you not in alignment? No, I'm bent out of shape. You can't align something that you pretzeled. Just because I'm flexible AF does not mean I enjoy your pretzel shit. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Mm-hmm. You should get Buddha palmed in your pie hole, is what it is. Yeah, no, they're listening to me talk shit to you. Like, that's not anything new. They're not being traumatized. That's not anything new at all. Let me look at this deck, too, because I really want to know the bullshit. Your girl want to know. Mm-hmm. Your girl want to know. I want to fucking know. Is it just a cow pie? Is it an actual bull pile? What is this? Rocky Mountain oysters? What are you getting me into today? What else? What else, Michaela? What else? And no, don't get quiet. No, Marlene. Keep talking. You've been talking since what time in the effing morning? Keep talking. Don't be quiet on my account. She's like, I think she's really upset. Oh, no, I'm joking. Y'all think I'm always joking. Mm-hmm. I want to know what's going on with this reading. And Michael's like, okay, so now that you've looked at all the cards, are you not going to read? I don't know. I don't know. This is just, all right, balance, emotions, gratitude. That was the first set of cards I pulled out when I began to have my initial meltdown. And that's instruction to balance the emotions and gratitude. Gratitude for my abilities. Gratitude. So cool. All right. So, bacon sounds really good right now. Nikki. Jurassic Park size shit? Potentially. Potentially. I don't know. Potentially. So a seed was planted, a seed that will grow into a flower of celebration. But first, it's going to require communication. Communication with a free spirit, right? So I've just been reprimanded. I was just reprimanded, and I was told, you were saying that people need to be free and that they no longer need to hold on to anchors that prevent their movement and growth and progression. And that's what this reading is about: freeing people, creating a free spirit type environment for people to receive their messages with zero adulteration. So choices are being made, and this choice is awakening an individual or several individuals into a point of reflection, reciprocal reflection. So Michael says you forgot a card. No, I intentionally left it on the table. He's like, is that your final decision? I don't know. I kind of want punishment today. What are you going to do? Tell me that. He's smiling. No, I've like entered into this elevation in my masochism. What kind of punishment? He's like, he's not laughing. I don't care. Okay, so these are the cards. Choices are being made to awaken into a state of reciprocal reflection. Okay. Shadow self and walk your truth. So someone has entered into that valley of shadows to retrieve the pieces, the parts that give clarity. And now that they have clarity, they are preparing to walk their truth and speak it as well. It's time to overcome whatever, and I'm quoting Michael. It's time to overcome whatever handicaps you've continued to allow to exist simply because of an ego-based cognitive dissonance. He's basically saying I'm being a brat. I don't care. So 10, overcome. It's time for you to overcome whatever cognitive dissonance that's causing you to avoid whatever you need to address. Build up sigil. In order to be built up, you have to first be deconstructed. You have a finite number of parts while in physical form. And in order to build you up, they have to deconstruct you, your ego, your perception, even your social constructs, these relationship dynamics that already exist must be deconstructed in order to be reconstructed. That is the precursor to a reconstruction. Awaken gnosis. So this is about actually entering into that shadow valley and being able to see yourself, to see the reality of what's going on, like see awakening, right? Awaken gnosis. It's going to take you to a much higher level of dimensional consciousness. Card number 23, Hidden Moon. There are things being hidden away from you that maybe you should begin considering looking at, or maybe you shouldn't. When is the moon's light the brightest? When you enter into the darkest, shadowy spaces of that valley of shadows. And that's where the ping comes in. You are the moon pinging light through the landscape, illuminating even for a moment the pathway that whoever this individual is will be traversing in order to get to that most hidden spot. Why would you ask me if I'm upset? What the fuck do you think? Are you upset? No, I'm jolly. I'm a jolly ass motherfucking giant. I'm jolly. Card number 17, Galactic Assistance. Allowing yourself to be assisted in ways that are galactic. The moon is something galactic. Galactic being synonymous with celestial. This has to do with celestial previous existences that are bleeding over into this life. Card number 32, Ancestral Magic. Allowing yourself to tap into a magic that comes from ancestors, galactic and terrestrial. Card number 8, Cycle Sigil. Allowing yourself to go through the cycles that eventually purge, cleanse, remove any obstructions, any molecular compactions that affect the psychology, that affect the process. Observe. Observe where your mind takes you. Observe where that space that you're taken to affects your behaviors. Intuition. Allowing your intuition to be the very thing that serves as the radar. Sorry, guys. Kali Mahamaya. Kali Mahamaya. Kali Mahamaya is Kali Ma, the spiritual truth beneath all appearances, the healing waiting to be discovered in all experiences. In harmony with your higher self, she manifests the path upon which you can best learn, heal, and grow. She is unclothed, symbolizing wild, unconditioned authenticity. She is the empowerment to discard conditioning and judgments that we have worn. Cast off the fearful constraints others have imposed upon you. Connecting to your authentic being will attract healing, guidance, and divine grace to you now. Kali Mahamaya knows the life circumstances that will best evoke your sacred fulfillment, from gentle blessings to heart-stretching challenges that bring out courage and confidence you never knew you had. She weaves the circumstances into being that will cause you to grow, awaken, and fulfill your divine potential. It's time for you to find the confidence to do the behaviors that you didn't think you could. The choices need to be made. The behaviors need to reflect those choices. Find your courage is the message. Card number 5, Guna Tantrika. The Divine Mother manifests a cure for when we feel overwhelmed or confused, or when we feel we're falling apart or locked into stagnation. She is a superior medicine, even when we may not be sure what is needed to bring ourselves back into balance. She holds the answers. Tune into your heart, and there you will find her sacred prescription. Trust your inner guiding sense of what to do or not do next. Trust that a better order is being established. So this is about reconnecting with your heart space and allowing that heart-based decision to be the very thing that you allow yourself to put action behind. Guna Tantrika's Kali is the medicine mother. She generates and regulates the 3 inherent qualities within all phenomena, including our body, mind, and soul. These 3 qualities are known as the 3 gunas, sattva, raja, and tamas. As sattva, Kali is a peaceful detachment and contentment in the moment. She is a fire of rajas, the energy for taking action and hustling for our sacred manifestation. When our actions rest upon pure-hearted foundation, our activities can become enlightened, bringing spiritual benefit to all beings, even if we don't always recognize a positive and far-reaching impact of our actions at the time. When we need to slow down to heal, ground ourselves, and regroup, Kali is tamas, the heaviness that allows energy to settle. This is a temporary inertia that stills momentum and allows for deep restoration and renewal. The heaviness that's being felt is to allow the truths that have been uncovered and dispersed through your hydroplasmic chambers to settle down in order to be properly assessed, integrated. People think the Akashic Records is some hall of books. That's a human perception. The Akashic Records are along with the halls of Amenti. These are chambers of water. Hydroplasma can be programmed easily. It can hold a charge. It will transmit energy, electricity through it very easily. If you look at your neurons, your brain cells, the cells that are part of your nervous system, they involve the passing of electric messages. That's called synaptic firing. Now, the synapses, they are the synapses, they are insulated with myelin sheaths, and those are, it's almost like a jelly type version of hydroplasma. It creates a protecting and an insulating so that the pathways are secure. What's happening right now is the pathways are being activated for communication, reception, as well as transmission. Both channels are being turned on. I don't know why. Card number 38, Kama of Kali. She is completely and utterly in love with your divine essence, and in her love bestows endless gifts. Your path need not be one of endless effort. Connecting with pleasure as a path of personal empowerment with an intention to bring spiritual benefit to the collective through softening and opening your heart is an act of worshiping the divine feminine. Relax into the presence of what is as you slow your pace and make swifter progress. There's no need to rush. There's just a need to no longer resist. This has to do with electricity. Resistors when it comes to electricity. And now I'm being shown a combustion engine, the pistons and the rods, the pistons and the rods, the explosions causing the rod. You can easily Google up how a combustion engine works. So long as fuel is being provided, the combustion will continue to perpetuate. The more fuel, the faster the rate of combustion. I remember in high school, I used to hang out with some racers, people who were into like modifying their vehicles. I remember this conversation that I was having with someone in high school, and they were talking about converting, dropping in a freaking engine that was just far too powerful for the car that they had. And I'm just like, the chassis is not going to hold up to that. That is too big. That is too big of an engine. And it's this thing of, you can absolutely modify your vehicle, your Merkaba, in whatever way you want. Whether you use top grade fuel or not, the engine will function in the way it's meant to function. Eventually, yes, if you use the lower grade, you will clog your fuel lines, you will screw up your whole engine, it will leave deposits, all of these different things. But regardless, up until that mechanical failure, your engine will continue to have combustion if it is a combustion engine. And that's the thing, it's this need to recalibrate. It is a need to recalibrate and recognize things are functioning in the way that they are, the way they were meant to function. There's no need to rush, there's no need to slow down, there's just a need to be mindful of the fuel that you're using. So this is about fueling your rise. Michael just asked, how long will you be upset for? The whole fucking day. What did you think? How long do I stay upset for? 5 minutes? When have you known me to be upset for only 5 minutes? The whole fucking day is how long I will be upset for. Be thankful if it ends at the end of the day. Card number 34, the Amaryllis Lute. You have won a victory, beloved, a victory over the past, and the Amaryllis Lute is sounding through every cell of your being, heralding your rising vibration as you leave fear behind you once again. In fact, the lute says you are growing fast, and spiritually, you are outgrowing your old life even more so. When your vibration changes, so too does your life. This is natural. It is safe and loving for you to release that which no longer feels right for you. No matter how much it was important in your old life, it might not have the same place in your new life. Just as musical instrument can play notes at higher or lower vibrations, your own vibration is being refined as you are growing so fast spiritually. This is wonderful. Be brave as you trust that you are allowed, indeed, though you are spiritually encouraged, to allow your vibration to continue rising, even though that sometimes means leaving people, places, situations, and things behind. Some people and situations will grow with you at an equal pace. Others will meet you in the next upward spiral of your unfolding consciousness and life path, and still others will weigh you down, and you will need to let them go so that they may live their own destiny according to their own choices and timing. The more you allow yourself to raise your vibration, to shine victorious in your journey from fear to peace, the more you'll be able to benefit from the quick unfoldment of your higher destiny in your life. The Amaryllis Lute calls you upwards into your own soul vibration. This healing instrument of the Divine Mother Goddess Kuan Yin sounds within your cells, helping you continue to raise your vibration into peace. You will feel the effect of the amaryllis lute when you feel that you want to be more discerning about what you consume and how it might affect you positively or negatively. This might be food, it might be relationships, energies, visual or reading material, and music, environments and emotional tendencies in certain friendships or work environments. This doesn't require stringent or fanatical approaches, but the lute opens you up to greater awareness of how you best work to raise your own vibration. You don't have to make dramatic changes to have dramatic effects. Even a small change in not gossiping, in choosing not to engage in non constructive arguments, can make a world of difference. Choosing to smile more, to be gentler and kinder to yourself and others, to not be a doormat, and to be firm and loving about meeting your own needs are ways to raise your vibration too. Chanting, meditation, and dance can help. Let the amaryllis lute sound and guide you to the most beautiful and enjoyable ways for your vibration to rise. Remember that what works for another may not work for you. So it's an experiment and a fun one at that. So you're being asked to experiment and see the best way to move forward. The Empress of the Pearl. Card number 10, the Empress of the Pearl. Do you know how pearls are formed? Pearls are formed when something, an irritant, enters into the shell. As it enters into the shell and is identified as a foreign object, an invader of sorts, the crustacean then begins to layer and layer and layer all of this calcification. It entombs that irritant. And what was once something that was just irritating, an agitation of sorts, suddenly becomes the most treasured part of this creature. You have an inner gift of great value, born of struggle, adversity, and challenge. In wisdom, you know that suffering can lead to growth, provided we are willing to search for a way to heal through it. Seeing challenges as ways to expand spiritual light empowers you to focus on the growing light rather than getting caught up in suffering. Natural pearls are rare, lustrous, feminine gems, created within a living organism, the pearl oyster. They have a unique creation process. Natural pearls are created when a foreign entity, such as a grain of sand or parasite, finds its way into the pearl oyster. The oyster reacts and creates layers of pearlescent substance, creating a warmly growing treasure within. Just like the beautiful and rare natural pearl, you have a unique spiritual beauty to offer the world. Your pearl is your precious gift, something unique that's being born through your experiences and consciousness that cannot be created or copied by another because it's of your own unique soul light. Any struggle you have, any struggle you've experienced are a karmic gift to help you grow this inner exquisite offering to support the spiritual evolution of humanity. Once you recognize this, you can dispense with your struggles more swiftly, using them to help you grow and not adding unnecessary energy or focus to the problem, which might make it grow instead. If you have found yourself attracting negative energies from those around you, or perhaps feeling drained or sometimes even possessed by negative thoughts or experiences, you don't have to feel afraid. You can heal with Kuan Yin now, allowing that which is stirred up within you to begin forming the beautiful gift you have to share. Just as a pearl starts from irritation and reaction, so are the circumstances in your life which feel uncomfortable, serving you to help you grow your gift. It's a time to realize that your soul is growing in luster and beauty to share with the world. Once you realize this, your struggles become less and your soul light becomes even more luminous. Michael is annoying. I don't like pearls. I don't like pearls. I don't like to wear them. And if someone doesn't like the jewels you create within you, does it take from their value? Just because I don't like pearls, freshwater, saltwater, lab grown, wild, does that take away from the value of the pearl? No. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take away from the value of what you're witnessing unfolding within your life and within the life of others. There are amazing things that are happening in the world right now, and amazing things happening within your personal journey, a journey of self-healing, self-introspection, self-integration. So many different things are happening in your life right now. And many of these things that are happening are being obscured from your view. I'm being told to read one more card. Hi, Kathy. Congratulations on your new car. It's gorgeous. To the person who thinks I'm being ungrateful, because it is so cool to be able to hear Archangel Michael, and that I'm just being ungrateful. You can have them. Keep them. Invite him over to your place, because I sure as hell did invite him over here. Take him. Thank you, Mystic Mermaid. Mystic Mermaid says, excuse me, but our abilities are not always cool. If this card is an apology from you, Michaela, I really don't care. I really don't care right now. Card number 12, Divine Discontent. Winter falls upon us so spring can bring new growth. Cry the tears, allow the longing. Sadness brings surrender and a deep desire to be free. I know your heart. I hear it breaking and groaning in darkest night when you imagine yourself to be silently cast adrift in sleep. It speaks to me, that sacred heart of yours, whispering its longing and bemoaning its divine discontent. It knows when something is amiss. It senses that something is not quite right as yet. There's a piece of the puzzle missing. Even in its tremendous gratitude for all that is, and there's much gratitude and sweet appreciation in that precious heart of yours, there is a murmuring, a questing. It cries out to heaven, vouchsafe me a blessing. I cannot go on. I am broken and in need of your tenderness for healing. I am empty and in need of filling, not with stuff and bits, but with the most precious nectar of divine fulfillment. Nothing else will satisfy me. Please, please restore me to wholeness. I can bear this missing piece, this broken disarray no longer. I listen and I cajole that wise heart of yours. I praise it for its honesty and longing, for the longing is an irresistible perfume to the beloved, attracting the only salve that will soothe the divine discontent of your truth-speaking heart, that of divine presence, absolute and unquestionable. There's a sense within you, perhaps quite obvious to your conscious mind, or perhaps only dimly registered as an unnameable, underlying sense of anxiety that something in your life is not quite right. It may be the sense, even amongst so much gratitude, of a yearning yet to be met, a longing yet to be fulfilled and satisfied. This is the pain of the awakening heart. The heart is capable of bliss and ecstatic reverence for the sheer beauty and wonder of creation. Yet as the heart matures, there will be a process of deep, passionate longing that awakens for the divine. It is the impatience for the caress of the great lover, for the presence of the divine to come to you. Over time, that longing will grow from a mild inner sense of incompleteness, needing to become whole. It will develop into a holy fever, a sacred rage, a stamping of dancing feet, a pounding of fists upon the altar, and a longing so deep and distressing that one may well break into tears at the impossibility of bearing the pain of apparent separation for even a moment longer. Where is my beloved? Cries the awakening heart. I call for my beloved, and yet I'm here, still waiting. I can stand this no longer. As devotion grows and passion for the divine intensifies, so too does this yearning, so much so that this may come to feel as though your heart is breaking for the divine, or perhaps you are not quite there yet. Your heart is attached to smaller gods, such as your status, your job, your lover, your body looking a certain way, or being able to live your life in a particular way. These smaller gods are not necessarily an issue. Yet you have drawn this oracle, and so it's guidance for you that the divine wants to draw you closer. Sometimes that means we will have the meager meal wrested from our hand, so we may feast upon something far more delectable and grand. The divine is fiercely possessive of its lover. If there is a face of another beloved preventing you from longing for the divine embrace, and if you cannot see that it is divine beloved within your lover that you are loving, well, then something will be done by heaven. So make your relationship sacrosanct. See the divine in all things. When you cannot, when the power of lesser gods has you in its grip, acknowledge it, bear witness to it. Do not chastise, instead be truthful. Let your heart break and lie prostrate on the floor, hands clutching and head bowed, as though only your sadness and plight could stir the heart of the divine beloved into descent of grace, saving you from a life far too bland for your exquisite Epicurean palate. Just don't misinterpret the pain and think that something really is wrong. If you are surrounded by status and money and cannot understand why you should mourn, it's even more important that you allow yourself to do so. Mourning is to be felt. Understanding is not so relevant. But if you must seek understanding, then know this, dear blazing angel, you are just waking from the deepest slumber, and with your awakening heart, you are realizing a truth. A part of you, deeper and wider, vaster and more instinctive, truthful and intelligent than your mind, is lonely for your divine embrace. That is right. This is sensible. This is sanity. It is a pain, the real noble pain of the heart that says there's something more than this inadequacy, this settling for plastic instead of precious gemstones that must end now. I cannot be fed by pixelated sunsets and animation upon my computer screen. I yearn to be blasted by so much radiance and beauty by the real thing that I become stupefied. I must witness so much divine splendor that all I can utter is some incoherent grunt, my mind dissembled and my heart ignited by the presence of my beloved. I want to become a fumbling, ecstatic wreck in the presence of my beloved. I want to allow this pain, this yearning, this divine discontent to guide me to my holy lover so my life may never be the same again. And so it shall be. The discontent Divine growing within you is the beginning, not the destiny. Its purpose is to lead you into your greatest connection yet with divinity. Do not resist it. Witness it. Do not dismiss it, trying to cover up its smell with rose petals. Let your rank discontent be the pathway to divinity. Look beyond what is, what has been prized and treasured, and now is found to be plated and not the precious gold it was once esteemed to be. Don't be scared, for you are my sidekick on this great holy adventure. I am here, you see, just around the corner. I have you in my sights, though you may not see me yet. I'm holding a loaf of fresh bread, hot from the kitchen of the Creator, hoping to entice you with its wafting scent, tempting you to follow me towards something far more substance. If you are still stuck on pine-scented air freshener, imagining it is anything akin to the wild scent of the pine forest for real, then how can I tempt you? Let the stench be the stench, then the fragrance of God can be discerned, and together we can leave what is less behind, once and for all, grabbing like hungry school children for the divine bread with sweet, fresh scent filling the air. So, thank you guys so much for sharing this space with me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up. If you're watching me on Facebook, please share this video out, give the video a heart, post it to wherever you feel, post it in all your groups, send it to your friends in their inbox. And I will see you guys again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm live every day, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I do my Soul Sanctuary podcast, and I will go ahead and announce later on today what tomorrow's topic will be. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you again tomorrow.